Well, we're going to get started here. The get together, the second one of the spring to this point. We're going to start here with Rooster, Mays, and KP. And all you guys that are tuning in online, we thank you for taking the time. I think after going through this set of pigs today after lunch, another one of them sales, the consigners pulled through. The hogs look competitive to me with lots and lots of extremities. I'm excited to offer these to the public. The get-together sales have won as much as maybe any across the country, and we're so happy that the breeders take this so serious. It's been awesome. We're excited to show them to you. Rooster and I will be talking them on the microphone. The breeders will give you 8 generations deep of what these sows have done or these new gilts. Thank you once again for tuning in.
Well, these first 3 in here will be KP and Mays, and certainly want to thank Blake and the Goss crew for inviting us back to another get-together here. First one we'll start off on here is a 44-liter spot. He'll be an outspoken Talk to Me tempo. The Talk to Me tempo sow there, we would have sold at perfect timing a couple years ago and actually acquired back. Grandma there would have made Langmeyer's champion spot gilt a few years ago there. That Blake and them's crew had, and then Carson Kettner would have had a 4th overall spot gilt at OYE also out of the grandma there. The pair of 45-liter Chester males here, they're out of a boar we have at the house. We call Cream Dream. He's a Making Waves son we bought last summer. Mother here on the Chesters would be a perfect fit box office. Would actually originated from Jim Gortney there and be a full sib in blood to his daughter's Supreme gilt there at OYE in 23 that won the Supreme overall purebred gilt show there. Really high on this trio of purebred bears here. Thanks to Blake and the crew for having us back.
Well, we start here. We're going to talk about these Cream Dreams. These Chesters, man, that they were standouts as we went through them today. This one that Ty's on, which would be -7. He's got that extra look and presence to me for this breed that looks very demanding in terms of your attention. His balance, his comfort level at the base of his body, very strong in terms of his foot placement. That thing is crazy out of the back of his blade. He's consistent in his width. I think one that feeds into August extremely, extremely good. This other one, a little bit more boxy about the way that he comes to you. He's broad in his forerib. He's probably got a little extra chunk and bulk to his body, maybe than the other particular bear in the Chester breed. He is so right in terms of the way that he moves and goes around the ring here. As you can see on the screen, I think a pig that's got some time in terms of maybe can last a little longer than the other Chester bear. This spot, he's boxy, he's stout, he's 3-dimensional. His dimension and shape out of the back of his blade, he comes at you true. He's a square-chested spot that's still right in his knee and his elbow. He's in line at the base of his skeleton. I think a very nice trio. I'll give Rooster some credit here. Every time he brings stuff to the get-together, seems like they feed extremely good. Our reserve spot bear there at Denver this time was sold through the get-together and raised by Rooster and Mays. Another good trio. Appreciate them for taking the sale very serious.
The next group in here will be the Streaver Genetics Consignments. I want to thank Blake and the whole Goss crew for having us out again. The Calico and the Solid Black Pig, those are going to be double taps, tricked out. That's going to be OG's sister. Double tap would be the boar we sold. at the exchange last year to 66 Ventures. He'd be a different league son. Like that pair, great deal. The white-legged one over here in the corner, that one's going to be a Snap That OG. That'd be a bred gilt purchase that we purchased through the Weathers Show Pigs dispersal sale here just a few months back. So, thanks again.
Well, certainly a real good trio here that Strieber wheels in for us, and you know, obviously Strieber's certainly no new name to the business here, and a guy that puts out pigs that just continuously get better as you have them on feed in terms of just their maturity pattern, the way that they progress. We'll start off here on the solid black one in this calico. I think just in terms of foot and bone and just heaviness of structure at the surface of both of these things, certainly check that box. Still read very good just in terms of their maturity pattern. I really like the way that their muscle texture is laid smooth on their body and look like pigs that are just gonna be better when they're bigger than they are little now. Obviously they're good now, but they look like ones that are just gonna feed and progress and be very good big ones there. The off-belted hog here, one just in terms of that type of look and design, still does it with just plenty of just shape and dimension. A pig whenever he gets strolling across the ring there, just in terms of that heads-up look, really got to appreciate just his height of shoulder and look that he has from the side there.
Like Rooster said, man, this calico, if you're one of them that want to sit back and buy heavy bone barrows that are clean in their joint work and strong in their feet, this thing has got big time extras. I think you could compliment this trio for a long time. Strieber once again does it here, brings a very nice trio.
Well, we'll start off here on the Colson Show Pigs lots, and bear with us just a little bit as we kind of shuffle through the pedigrees here on the sale sheet. 17.5 is in the ring here, crossbred male. Be a wide awake backdrop. That'd be the one that ties on here, kind of the thinner belted hog. A wide awake backdrop, very heavy structured, broad built kind of a bear there that ties on. The other one in here will be 24.3. 24.3, that'll be an all-out kingpin crossbred gilt there that riders leading across the center of the ring.
Well, we'll start with this gilt. Evan didn't make it tonight. He's got to work overtime. He's got diapers to buy in the near future. This crossbred gilt that leads off this this set of 12 that he brought you, this thing is sharp in front of her shoulder. She's really good about the shape of her head and the brim. When you start talking about indicators that come with some stoutness, her four-rib punch and just mobility to me is spot on. She still offers some length off either end, but when you study her from the back of her blade all the way to her tail, she still offers some moderation of length. I like this bear that ties on from this firm. To me, it seems like every time you buy one like this from them, you get rewarded. His bend and comfort to me is spot on. When you start talking about hogs that have this much blade and that much set to their knee, man, to me, they're easy to feed. His texture's on point. He's a soft, pliable bear that's still got a look of quality from the side. I would say one of them, if you like easy feeding ones, this one needs to be on your short list. A really good way to start off this pair from Colson.
Next pair here in the ring for Colson Show Pigs, another boar pig and a gilt here. The boar pig there is going to be 12-3. That'd be an eye-opener, heavy hitter. And then the other one in here, the crossbred gilt, that'd be 15-10. That's a wide-awake party trick.
Well, we'll start with this male pig there on the side closest to the camera. Man, that one, when he comes in, he's one of them two pinners to me. You start talking about futuristic look ahead of his shoulder, the strength of his front foot and the size of his arm to me is promising. His height to length is on point in my opinion. He's a flat back, neat neck bearer that's so right in his edge. He's so current in terms of his presence. His squareness of knee in relation to the squareness out back, the consistency of width is hard to do. I think that pig is a short lister for sure. This gilt, you know, she's one of them to me that can show extremely well, and then you put her in a sow pen, she looks pretty darn profitable in my opinion. The shape just of her body and her pliability, her comfort level. She's a youthful headed gilt that's got a big cage laid in the middle of her body. She's got honest feature and clean joints, which I think is as necessary as anything right now in the show ring. The length out back and her step. Man, Colson, he told me this set of 12 was as good as he's ever seen here to this point. I'm in favor of his statement. I think a very good pair of them. This bear is a short lister in my opinion, with no questions asked.
Next two in the ring here for Colson Show Pigs will be 29-1. That's a double tap Genesis, and then the other one in here with him is going to be the other one in here would be a 26-9 crossbred gilt. That'll be a Trust Fund Cruel.
Well, I was visiting there yesterday with Minnesota Matt and Swag Dog. They say these trust funds, man, they're really good, and I've seen lots of good ones sell online. This gilt, if she reflects the kind of quality that comes with that, we need to use a few of those for ourselves there at home. That thing's bone and feature and just alertness ahead of her shoulder. To have that much width but stay in line at the base of her body to me is impressive. Her indicators of skull shape and tail root are sure promising. That is one stout animal. I would be the first to tell you, if you got a market gilt show and a guy wanted to try to get right in the mix of the barrows, this thing has got barrow shape and barrow width, and then she comes with that proportion. Yet at the same time, I think you get her home and get her off maybe the hotter feed. I think she certainly is one of them that can run breeding as well. That's a very versatile gilt in my opinion. The one closest to the camera maybe hasn't seen as much sunlight as some that Evans brought to town, but you talk about quality and squareness and comfort level and just an elite look from the side goes in this barrow's favor. I love the kind that he represents in terms of feedability, in terms of moderation of length from the side. He's a boxy built show barrow. Man, you get that one home and get him dark. I would say that you'll think you made the buy of the year. I like this bear, a good deal. He's a proud-headed bear that's good in his posture. This is another nice pair of them here that Colson brought.
Next two in the ring here for Colson will be a 24-1 and 28-3. A 24-1's the calico male in the center of the ring there. That'll be an all-out kingpin. A 28-3, that's the belted male or the wider belted male there. And that'll be an OG never before.
Well, the quality just keeps coming here for the Colson consignment, and we're going to start with this black-headed target hip bearer. You talk about a big bladed hog that's so good at the back of his blade, his forerib spread goes in his favor, and then you study a power hog that's got that kind of presence and alert look from the side. Very good at the base of his skeleton. His foot quality and his agility to me are awfully good. I think a bear that can creep up on you just in terms of being hardy and stout. I think his kind to me can show August, September, wherever you want to go, and he's got enough stuff. If you wanted to stretch him, I don't think it would be that big of a problem. This Calico, that thing is hell for stout in terms of shape and power. He's a boxy built bear that is very good when you open the gate and study him at his sternum, in his base of his chest there. His forerib shape's right. This all-out thing to me has been very good when they make it to heavier weights. They always are in the mix of things. This all-out bear comes with a little more in terms of feature early than some that I've seen. I think this is the right kind of bear there to feed them Calico all-outs. It seems like they always sneak up on you. This is another interesting pair of them here for Colson.
Next two in the ring here for Colson Show Pigs will be a 32-3. That's a lead the way, quite frankly, a trace as never before 35-10 style. And then the other one in here will be 21-2. That'll be a Stinger Kingpin.
Well, we're going to start by talking this bear, or boar pig, closest to the camera. That's a lead the way, and I tell you, to be up front with everybody, I think this one could be boar, bear. You decide long term. You know, he strikes a pose in his pen, and the guy can break his neck when he's walking beside him. That kind of proportion to me in this day and age, that kind of head shape and toughness to his skull, his forearm is big. The set to his knee is so right. This pig to me amplifies why Lead the Way has been so popular. I'll never forget the first time I saw that particular boar pig at Goss 15-7, and the way that he's been able to generate and stamp quality all the way through this sale season. There's no doubt there's a reason why they've been extremely popular. I will tell you, this is, in my opinion, one of the best Lead the Ways that I've seen all year. For those that are watching online, I would very, very highly recommend getting with Evan. I think that is one elite animal. Whether you want to try to win the biggest show or you want to collect him on Mondays and Thursdays, I think that's a big-time prospect. This one on the far side, in terms of just elevation and look, yet you study it for what it is in terms of true, honest width off either end of its body, and then right there through the center portion of its cavity. That hog's got some softness and still some presence and some elegance from the side. Sharp-looking, neat neck, there's no question. I think another pair here that Colson brings, I will tell you, I am all in favor of this Lead the Way pig.
Well, the last two entries of Evan's carload contest here is going to be 20-4. That's a Say What Slaps. The other one in here with him will be 25-1. That's a Stinger Icon.
Well, we get here and we got Evan's double L out back, and we just backed it up and started unloading. And I can promise you one thing, if we had the right kind of ball hitch, we'd go back and get more of them. These 12 are awfully darn good. And this one that Ryder's on here, the 20-liter barrel, that one to me is the kind of pig in my opinion, that works extremely well for the end of August, right there in September. That kind of moderation and proportion, and then you start throwing in there, he's out of that Say It What bore. The Say It Son needs no introduction to what I think that he could do. That hoge's got some elite pieces, and just in terms of his bend, his comfort, his elevation, his posture, I like that kind of pig. We've been very successful with Colson pigs, and to be up front with all of you, that is what a lot of them have looked like. This awkward belted bear that stands here in the middle of the ring, I want to call him off-belted, but he's kind of got one of them old-school Hampshire belts in the middle of his body. He has got a neat look from the side. His elevation and just presence. My favorite thing about this set of pigs from Colson, you can identify quality when they first step in the ring in terms of where their neck sets on their shoulder, in terms of the look they give you from the side, and you study them coming and going. This is a square group of pigs that are comfortable and clean jointed. Evan did very, very good. I've never seen him this focused. It must be because he's got a kid on the way. This is one good set of pigs, and I'll tell you, if you got any questions, you need to reach out to Ty or myself or Evan. These are worth talking about. A very, very good setup that he brought to Weatherford.
More better? Good now? Okay, perfect. Anyway, so this will be the first two that we have. We have, I think, 7 or 8 or 9, I guess, that we're going to run here. The first two males here, the big chrome that rider's on there in the center of the ring, would be a sure thing, stay classy, hold my beer safe word. That mama would be one that we bought from the Wintex production sale this last summer. Would have sold as lot 3. We were fired up to get back and to breed on. That sow line, as many of you know, I worked for Wintex there for a couple years. She goes back to the black knee sow. I'm going to always call her the black knee sow that Wintex had. It was one of my favorite females that I seen there, and so any chance we get to own a daughter out of that sow line and have that lineage in there, we were fired up to get her back. And again, the Sure Thing boar is one that Schaefer would have purchased from Wintex, and at his time at Wintex would have been called Right Way. We had a lot of faith in that boar. We've got a couple more Sure Things that you guys will see and hopefully understand why. The white belted one in the center of the ring is the first of a couple whitetails that we're going to offer here. That one obviously is quite frankly, sorry if I can talk, back on whitetail, which is the roll call Blurred 40-2 sow that we bought here at the Coronation in 24 is lot 1. So.
Well, certainly a real good pair here to start off on the Kimball livestock consignments, and talk about the chromed up bear there that Ty has leading around on the bottle. Out of the boar there that Wintex sold to Schaefer's, and lucky enough got to see some pigs out of him this fall at a few of Wintex's sale, and just talk about stamping them in terms of just stoutness of skull and foot and bone. Still reading with just plenty of just true shape and cage over his mid-body. You step in behind that pig and he's still broad in terms of his pin set, still extremely just athletic and flexibility in terms of his skeleton and his movement. The one here that Ryder's got here in the center of the ring now, the first one out of the whitetail litter, obviously a sow in the genetic lineage there that needs absolutely no introduction. I think a pig, just in terms of foot, bone, and just true broadness, looks like the kind that's just going to feed and be very, very good, very competitive, regardless where he ends up.
I'll figure out the microphone at some point. The next trio that we have in here, two of them are going to be 43 litters, and that's the two males in the center there that ties on the one that he's got, the white-footed one's a 43-1. 43 litters are going to be Sure Thing, again, the boar that we just talked about, that Wintech sold Schaefer. The sow on those would be a Paradise, the King, Red Alert. And so the grandma here of these pigs would have raised Kaysen, my little stepbrother's fourth out Hamp Bear there at OYE in 23. We love that sow line that Moyer's got, and so we were fired up to get a daughter out of her. We bought her as a baby from him in that sale, and this would be her first litter in production. And so a sow that's got a very, very bright future for us, and a pair that I like a great deal. The lone gilt that's in here, she's a 51 litter. She'll be 51-6. That's one of the chance, I guess, for two gilts that we're going to sell, even though there's a choice lot, so 3 total. That gilt is an abnormal backbone next man up, and again, a sow that's done a great job for us.
We'll start about talking these males, the -3 off belt that Ryder ties on now. They did a little jersey swap. That hog's skeleton and just width underneath to me is promising. The shape of his blade and the accuracy of his foot and the bend to his knee goes in that pig's particular favor. Attaches good at the top of his blade. That's a power hog with a youthful head, in my opinion. Very good at the top of his neck. Good bear there in that dash number 3. I can't help but like this more traditional belted one. My speed in terms of elevation, my speed in terms of proportion and just bend a step from behind. His squareness and stability from behind the livestock to me is a quick pin immediately. He feeds great out of the back of his blade. That pig's honest in the way that he comes to you. He's right for the times in his maturity. Hog that's so elevated, yet he's got some bulk to the center portion of his body. He's backed by a sow line that's very, very good. When the Moyer boys aren't at the shoe rooting on the Ohio State Buckeyes, they can absolutely get it done in terms of generators that can go on and perform for other people. There's a reason she's raised the 4th overall at the Oklahoma Youth Expo. That is a very, very good pair of males. This abnormal gilt, when we got abnormal in, it was a no-brainer. He had that look and presence that nowadays on Facebook you'd call weird. He's got the extra intangibles, and then you look at this gilt, she comes with very similar in terms of them traits of presence, elegance, strength of foot, and squareness. She's mobile when you get a whip on her. I really like just her texture and where she's at, the length of her cannon, and her moderation of length to be that immature, I think, is very unique. I think a nice trio here from Kimball.
Next two in here will be the last of our whitetail male consignments in here. And again, the whitetail sow, we've talked about her plenty. That sow's been dominant for us and everything that we had hoped for when we got her acquired there last winter. And so a sow that I can't speak enough positive to, and I don't want to, or to sound repetitive at all these previews that we go to. Her litters are always extremely deep and extremely consistent. She fits the board, but then still stamps her own mold and presence into every piece of livestock that she's had for us. And so we're fired up on this pair of males here. Then belted one's going to be 49-3, and then the black-legged one's 49-5.
Well, certainly a real good pair here that we will in for Kimball Livestock, and another pair of them here out of the whitetail sows litter. I was fortunate enough to get to judge that particular sow early on in her show life. Actually, it might have been the first show they ever took her to, and just in terms of her just true broadness of skeleton and her skeletal width, while still being just extremely sound and mobile in terms of her structure, I think she stamped that. And every litter of pigs that Kimball sold out ever so far, I think I've got to see most of those come through the get-togethers, and these are certainly no slouches here. quite frankly, obviously did his job just in terms of just stoutness of skull, still offering some look and some broadness. I think a real good pair of male pigs here, brought to you by Kimball Livestock.
These two right here will be the last lot, or last of the consignments that we have here in this sale. And again, both of these gilts are another pair of whitetail gilts. We didn't know how we wanted to do it at home, which one to offer. They're both totally different in what they bring to the table. And I'm not going to talk to pigs. These guys beside me can do that much better. And to be honest with you, if you want more of a deep, extended pedigree on the whitetail sow, obviously I'm sitting next to the guy that can tell you more than I can. Very excited about what she's done for us in our time that we've had her. These gilts are polar opposite, but we wanted to give the public a chance to own one of them, and then we're going to keep the other one, and my stepbrother's going to show her there at the house. And so we're going to choice lot these. There's no double the hammer price to own both. The other one will be taken back home by us.
Well, the cool thing about the whitetail sow that's behind these, I tell you, I got chills right now, and there hadn't been a day that I didn't get a video of this one growing up, that I didn't get chills the night we sold her in Stillwater. It's very rewarding on our end of things when you can kind of bless one as one that's you bless her before she's proven, and then she proves you right. I can tell you their mom is an absolute gangster. Regardless of the time, we could probably go pull her out and show her right now. I'll tell you, the Humphreys family showed a daughter out of her that was reserve grand at the Arizona National. She looked the most like the black-headed one. And in the same token, I could also tell you the immaturity and build and skeleton of whitetail herself resembles in the bigger gilt that stands here. I don't know if we've ever sold a gilt that's put a boar in a boar stud every litter that she's ever had, but I can promise you one thing, the generating ability behind these particular gilts, they will look cheap long term regardless of what she brings. It's not every day you sell one for $190,000, I understand, and in the same sentence, it's not every day that them kind are already paid for by the time you start selling their third parity. I believe in this sow line. We believe on the back side of them, and then you mix a little bit of Mark Gray in the mix in terms of, quite frankly, to me, this is a no-brainer decision. If you're online and you're hesitant, just bid again.
Checking them. These next ones in here will be the Savage consignment, and obviously we've got a pair of males here, and the big one there, we'll start with him. That's a 239 pig. That one will come to you there. That one's got a December pedigree on him, and still think that he fits a lot of different ranges. For those of you that's still looking for an expo, summer type, show kind of a deal like that, he fits that window. At the same time, he's the type and the kind that you can put out there in your backyard, let him eat some dirt for a bit. I think you'll be amazed what that one could look like at a state fair. But he's out of the boar that we call Smoke Signal, boar there at the house, and Blake can tell you a little bit. He had an opportunity to see that one last fall. And then this one's mother is actually my favorite sister to Arrowhead, the boar that was champion there at the summertime conference and went to premium blend. So that thing's got a lot of upside feeding ability about him. He is a crip. We'll guarantee him and, get him home, get him tended to, get him taken care of. I think you'll have a nice project. The little one here is probably my most exciting thing that we're going to offer. And this one here, he's a 245. He too's out of Smoke Signal. His mother Sticks. This would make this pig be the exact mating as the gilt that we had that was champion purebred and supreme reserve supreme overall there at Angelo the other day. That was a gilt that we sold at the get together when it was 128 degrees out there in Leedy late summer, and this pig's bred identical. And I really think this thing has a lot of upside for feeding a Hampshire Barra to go into a state fair this summer. You got lots of things that you can do with this guy. We like him a great deal. He'll have a January pedigree on him.
We'll start with this chromed up one. And I remember when his full sib sold there at the get-together last time, and I'll tell you, this one is unique in terms of his presence of any of the trio that Todd brought. The way he attaches the top of his shoulder, his edge out of the back of his blade. I would say Barra showers, you need to pay attention here on this chromed up Barra. The strength of his feet and his athleticism when you ask him to go. I know that he's not quick. I know that he doesn't have as much early muscle maybe as some crossbreds. Guess what? In this breed, in my opinion, they don't need to have. And then you start talking about the pedigree and what represents behind him. Let genetics work for you. Put him on feed. I think this Barra is very easy to identify in terms of his presence and quality. Man, I like this Barra a good deal. This flag-tailed round rib stout one that's on the far side, his daddy's is as good as anything, in my opinion, in the breed. His full rib spread and just his actual dimension and honest width off either end of his body. He's a Hampshire Barra that is still appropriate in the way that his knee and his shoulder sets onto his skeleton. He's still got the right kind of foot shape, the right kind of immaturity. I'm the farthest from a genius in this breed. I will tell you one thing, though. You buy them from Savage, they can make a guy look smart, even when you're not used to buying Hampshires. They have sold as many winners in this breed, or any breed in particular, out of these sales as anybody. I think this is a darn nice pair of them that I think fit different endpoints.
So our gilt entry comes in next, and this is 231.6 for everybody that's been to the farm and seen them and had asked about. We wasn't sure what we was ever going to do with this particular one, and then when it come about and it come time, we've had great interest in a lot of our Hampshire gilts this time. Obviously, we just come back from Sweethearts. We had four gilts there that was very well accepted and praised and rightfully so, and yet at the same time, this one here, this is probably the one that is the hardest for us to turn loose of. She is out of Eaton Crow. Eaton Crow was the boar that sired the majority of all them pigs that we had success with last summer, including Arrowhead, the boar there at Premium Blend. This one's mother is actually 19.3, and that is the sow. That's one of the 19s. There's 4 of those. I always, if you read my reference points to them, 3 of those 4 sows have really done something. One of them's the mother of Smoke Signal. One of them's the mother of Twisted Affair. The other one is the mother of Emma Garland's gilt that was champion last summer there that went on to bring 28,000. This one here's mother never has raised a champion yet, but she's never been bred to and had it at the right time, and that's probably what makes it the most difficult to do anything in terms of letting this one go. I think this one here is very, very special. She's eating crow out of one of the 19 litter sows. She's a December. She can go all summer long. She can end up at a lot of the state fairs across the country. All I want to tell you is her value is whatever it is tomorrow night. Her resale value this summer could be damn high.
Well, Wendy's must be closed this evening if we're eating crow. I think a real good Hampshire gilt that the Kennedy and the Savage crew drop in here obviously need absolutely no introduction to the belted show ring. Every time these guys have brought a gilt to one of the get-togethers and I've watched them sell, it doesn't seem too many months after that Todd and Donnie are posting a picture of somebody with a backdrop or a banner with their Hampshire gilt. These guys have taken out the guesswork for you, and I think a Hampshire gilt, just in terms of quality, she's extremely broad. In terms of her build and crisp to her edge up high, still offers an extremely proportional, good look from the side. Not only can she see lots of just success in the show ring, I think her best days will be ahead of her there in the sow lot as well. Extremely good investment here, regardless of who gets her. Well, next two in here would be the consignments from Positive Energy. 3-3 will be a Supersonic 345. The other one in here will be 8-1. That's a crypto heavy hitter there in the center of the ring.
Well, a new consigner for us, our very good friend Justin Grinstead. His wife allowed him to leave the house and bring some, and I will tell you, he took the opportunity very serious. I can't thank him enough. We're going to start off by talking this Hampshire Boar Pig, and I'll tell you that he's a Supersonic. Supersonic was a 4-litter hog that High Point raised. It would have been a mate to all them gilts that won this summer. This hog that ties on. His mom would be the high dollar 345 from Heimer. Would have been the high dollar Hampshire gilt that sold online last year. I will tell you that some of the people that I respect the very most that love this particular breed, when I saw the sire of this particular Hampshire hog, I absolutely went crazy ex-girlfriend and blew up their phone and just kept calling until they would pick up. Supersonic was one of the most impressive Hampshire boars as a little one that I ever got to see, and Bolin actually brought him out for us to look at. We had the mate's sister there that Ty fed that was reserved at Louisville. I will tell you, when you start thinking about the sire of this pig and what this pig looks like, he is bigger forearmed in my opinion. He's more accurate in his step from behind in my opinion. And in the same token, Supersonic is as good as anything I've seen. I'll be honest with you, you probably don't come to the get-together thinking about buying the next Hampshire boar that can make the biggest impact for the Hampshire breed going forward. But I will tell you with the utmost confidence, I'm damn confident this one could do it. The look ahead of his shoulder, he's current in his presence, he's great in his foot strength, he's incredible in the back of his blade. The accuracy of his step and the cleanness of his joint work. He's as stout of a Hampshire boar pig at this size I've seen that actually has link to his cannon. He has the right kind of immaturity. I would love to put Grandpa Rick on the microphone to talk this pig. I think that he's next level good. And I know maybe if he gets cut, so be it. But I'll tell you, if he keeps his nuts in him, we only have a few Hampshires, but we will breed every damn one of them to him. I think this one is big time good. He's as obvious of a Hampshire hog to me that it has been in this particular setting. I think the boar pig is absolutely unbelievable. Whether it's from my friend or not, I really don't care. I think that hog could make a big time change. And if you want to cut him, let me know, because we don't need to buy a Hampshire bear to show against him. This crossbred that comes in is a crypto heavy hitter. The sow is done lots of good in terms of the show ring. That hoge's got presence, he's got elevation, he's got link to his hip. His step is extremely good. I think a very good pair of them, and I'll confidently say I would be reaching out to Grinstead about this Hampshire boar. I'm darn serious when I tell you, it's hard to make them like this in this particular breed.
Next trio in here will be Hawk and McCarty Livestock, and Bob and Diesel Dave couldn't come down this week here, so they sent Sammy with this trio, and I think a trio that are extremely good. All three of them litter made, 11 litter hogs here. Be Buckle Up, Roll Call, Dirty Secret. Anxious to hear Blake's comments here.
Well, a very, very dominant sow here as we get into Hawk and McCarty, and this one that ties on 11-1. In terms of immaturity and what the sow line's known for, I think he replicates that to a high degree. The base of his chest, the bend to his arm, and just a step off either end of his skeleton. This sow just won a division at Georgia. She also put a boar and boar stud there for Evan and his crew. That is a very, very good way, in my opinion, to start. And in the same sentence, a sow's as good as the average of her litter, and then you roll into this -3. He's tight-necked, he's neat-looking, he's tall-shouldered. That hog's proportion and elevation is very good, in my opinion. A hog with immaturity, yet he's still boxing his length. He's really good in his foot quality. That, to me, is a lot like what the Georgia pig looked like when he sold in the get-together this fall, just in the way that he comes to you. He's not overdone, he's not quick, yet he's got real-world feature. He's got real-world squareness. The chromed up one here that's in the corner probably reminds me the most of what the grandma can do every time. She won a division there at Houston four times back to back to back. And this one to me is comfort level, length of hip and step. You know, he's not as far along as his two brothers. I would tell you, bid with confidence here in terms of having shape. You got an immature one that still offers some honest width, some honest muscle shape, and length off either end of their body. I think a darn good trio. This set of pigs to me to this point has been very, very good. I'm as pumped up as ever. The get-together Thursday could be very, very good. I like what these consigners have brought.
This will be the first pair we drop in here, the Farna consignments. Want to thank the Goss crew for having us down here. Sure excited to be a part of this event. The pair we've got in here would be a pair of litter mates, 58 litters. Their pedigree would be money line, tricked out. Mom is one of our foundation blue sows that we have there at the ranch. She would have raised the 4th overall blue at Ohio State Fair last summer. I know the Hawk crew had a pig on feed out of this sow last summer. Just a one we're excited to build around. I guess these are the best blues in the barn because they're the only ones. So.
Well, no doubt, extremely excited that Logan and crew could join us this year at the get-together, and glad Blake got him in here because in terms of just quality of livestock and continuously just cranking out good ones year in and year out, the Farnham firm certainly has done it. I think his pair of blues that we start off on, a little bit different maybe just in terms of their type and kind and maybe just their feeding points. We'll start off on the blue male there in the center of the ring that Ryder's got. One, just in terms of body shape and true dimension, you really got to appreciate that pig still props up from the side with a proportional look, still has some height of shoulder and is linked out front. And then you study the gilt there that Ty's whipping and riding on around the ring there. One, just in terms of her maturity pattern and that type of just elegant look and build from the side, this looks like the type of gilt that's going to be a good big ring show gilt, if you will, just in terms of that type of neck and presence. Still a very square-shaped gilt that really reads just immature in terms of her just a maturity pattern. Still think she's extremely sound. Certainly does it with just plenty of foot and bone as well. Real good pair of blues here to start us off on the Farnham lines.
Next ones we'll drop in here be a trio of 56 litters. Pedigree on these would be Moneyline, Absolute, Tricked Out. That Tricked Out sow in there would be Trick Daddy's littermate sister. So this would be a sow that I bought there from Kentrail there a couple falls ago. This is her first litter. Again, the Moneyline deal has been very good for us. This is our second season using him. From what I see, I think these are the right kind. Being out of that money line, having that extra bone and bend out back, very, very nice, or nice trio of male pigs here. Our leadoff's going to be this one. He looks a little rough right now. He literally hasn't ate or drank since he's been here, but I promise you he was my favorite one at home. Hopefully we'll get him rolling there by tomorrow.
Well, first and foremost, Logan, I'm excited you're here. Thankful for our friendship and his ability to put together some of the best sows across the United States there in Illinois. We're excited to have him. I hope he wants to come back every year, every sale, because now he's grandfathered in, and I'm very, very thankful that he made the trip down with these 5. I'll tell you, his leadoff, whether he's full or not, when they're big-ribbed and honest out of the back of their shoulder, they don't have to eat the whole feeder and the whole pan. That hog's got real-world body shape and just cavity. His bone and feature and comfort level, the way he keeps his upper line in check, in my opinion, is spot on. He's bendy and he's comfortable. He's very good coming and going. I think a great way to represent his firm there with that dash 3. That one that ties on the dash 4 on the far side, that hog's shape and just true power is very, very intriguing to me. He comes at you good to the base of his chest. His running gear's awesome. His blade shape is very, very good. He's honest out of the back of his blade. He's consistent in his width. I think one of them too, that's easy to feed, if you will, from start to finish. Little cup here, little cup there, not a lot of additives. That hog's really square and he's boxy. A good one there. This off-belted barrow to me is the different one of the trio, just in terms of that elegant look ahead of his shoulder, the bend to his knee and the comfort to his step. I like a good deal. He's a long hip barrow that hinges loose off either end of his body. He's not as far along in his muscle shape, but at the end of the day, I don't think they have to be at this particular point. This isn't their end point. It's a long time from that. I will tell you, I think this trio makes it to August very handily. There, the end of August would be a very, very good. We're thankful that he came. Moneyline pigs have been on a tear. I'm just glad to have him here on behalf of all of us there with Goss Livestock. We're very thankful that he made the purchase and the coronation to bring pigs to town. Okay, this will be the start of the Goss Livestock consignments. We got 40 of them here to go through. We're going to start by talking about Duroc gilts. We're not known to sell gilts. We'd be the first to tell you that. We just soon keep them and see where they land long term. Kind of a tough decision. The 76s would be the 2 the boys are on right now. The one rider's on, the one ties on closest to the camera. Those are 305 main characters. Their mother would be a litter mate to the Bobo Barra that was reserved at Louisville, top 5 of his division at Expo, a barra that we're darn proud of. That would be lot number 73. Choice lot, you buy it, you pick which one you want. double down is not an option. We're keeping the other one. We like that pair of gilts a good deal. The 81 liter gilt here, that is the off-notch one of the trio, that would be lot number 74. We are selling her and her entirety. She's a 264. Her mom would be an actual purchase from the get-together a couple falls ago, $22,000 gilt from the Leto crew. She would be a full sib to the 3rd overall Duroc Barra that showed at Coba the other day. This would be the first gilt we've ever offered out of either sow line. It'd be interesting to hear what Rooster has to say.
These red pigs are Januaries, and certainly excited to talk about this trio of gilts. And I think Mama Goss has certainly perfected her red sow herd so far. Been extremely fortunate to get to feed a few of these red gilts from the Goss livestock crew here over the past few years. And just to be honest with you, they just flat get it done. They're just good stock in terms of the way they feed. They mature whenever you have them on feed. We'll talk about this pair of littermates here that Ty's got nudging around on the golf club there. I think a pair, just in terms of their immaturity, yet still having some just true body shape and skeletal width, still extremely just sound structured gilts. Buy them like you like them. Pick whichever one's your favorite. They're going to probably not let the other one see much sunlight there. She'll be cooped away in the sow barn. Then this kind of dark colored one here that Ty's gonna wheel out here in the center of the ring. I think one, just in terms of a show gilt sow prospect, she's extremely just shapely out of the backside of her blade and boxy in terms of her mid-body, yet still, whenever she gets strolling across the ring there, prevails a very proportional yet elegant look from the side, but still backs it up with just plenty of true punch. Real good trio of red gilts here to get us started on the Goss consignments.
The next ones that we'll roll in here would be spotted swine, a little different twist here. We haven't raised those since Ty and I were kids, if you will. This one that Ty's on would be lot number 25. The one Ryder's on would be lot number 54. They are time machines. Their mom would be Out of the Shadows. Their mom was 3rd overall spot gilt at the Oklahoma Youth Expo, shown by the Ty Allen family. I will tell you, these spots have been very interesting from the day we set them on chips. Schwecky would have raised the mother of these particular spot boar pigs, if you will. I think a couple of them that could show in August and get it done. We like this pair a good deal, and they are a little bit different. It'll be interesting to hear what Rooster says.
Well, certainly glad to have the boys in the spotted ring now, and I think this pair of males is extremely good, and I think they're both just maybe a little bit different in terms of their type and kind. Out of the time machine boar there that Brady Jennings would have sold the premium blend, the Titan Sun, I think this pair of hogs read true to a lot of what the Titan stuff looks like this time, just in terms of foot and bone, still having a really just awesome look in terms of height of shoulder and length off either end of their skeleton. They're softer in terms of their muscle pattern and just their maturity, but on these spots, I certainly don't mind that at all. Just a little greener right now, continue to progress. These guys' mother was a very standout type of show gilt. I remember seeing her in the bright lights up there at the city. She was one that stuck out just in terms of her feature and her foot size, just overwhelming in terms of just true power and dimension all the way through. Real good pair of spotted males here. My compliments to the brothers.
The next one's rolling in. Poland's, I just can't help but to like Poland's. They've been good to us. We had a nice run with them last year. Champion in the North Dakota State Fair, champion in the Nebraska State Fair, 5th overall Poland Barra at the Indiana State Fair. We sold one at the Chosen Ones that found an extremely good home 2 weeks ago. These are Jump Starts, new design. The sow would have originated there from Laird. She would be the recent mother of the reserve Poland Gilded Coba shown by the Newcomb family. The one that ties on, the darker one, is -5. The one that comes with just a shot more color would be -6. -6 would be lot 24. -5 would be lot 51.
Well, another good pair of breed hogs here, and if Blake and Ty plan on continuing to crank out Poland hogs that look like this, they might need to get them another bird dog, because Ray Rice would certainly be proud of both of these things, just in terms of just their heaviness of structure and broadness of skeleton. For Polands, you study their feet, legs, and just their angles of their skeleton. I think you can really, really appreciate both these. Look like a pair of Polands that can reap success regardless of where they end up.
As we run these next two Durocs in, they're not the tamest ones in the cage, but I think they got tons of quality. The one closest to the camera would be 76-3. That would be a litter mate to the choice gilt lot, 305 main character. Mom would be a mate to the popular Bobo Barra that was reserved there at Louisville. He will be lot number 26, and I will tell you, maybe July, August endpoint. Don't think he'll stretch past August for those watching online. The other one will be 81-1. That's a full sib to the third overall there at Coba. 264 back on that $22,000 gilt from Leto. I think an interesting pair of pigs that are different in the way they come to you. I will tell you that red pigs at our ranch, we like them. I don't know if we do, but the woman that is in charge of everything to make us look nice when we go into public, it is her favorite breed. And I will tell you that breed has been very good to us in the last 4 or 5 years. These next 4 Duroc males are the kind that we think work from our house, maybe not the most obvious in terms of being ready, but we are darn proud of these 4 red hogs, and I think hogs that can be competitive at the biggest stage.
Well, like Blake said there, I don't think the Durocs are going anywhere, because the woman in charge is kind of the one, the brains behind the Duroc program there, and they flat get it done too. If you've attended the National Western Stock Show in the past 3 years and watched the Duroc drive, Mama Goss's sow herd has absolutely dominated them. I think this pair of Barras kind of fits the mold of those, just in terms of the way they looked as babies. Extremely proportional hogs. They read right in just terms of the angularity and the flexibility of their structure. Maybe just a little bit different right now in terms of their maturity patterns, but I think a pair of Duroc Barras that are very, very high quality. My compliments to the Goss crew here.
Well, the next 2 that roll in would be 2 more red hogs, and I tell you, the one that ties on, that is 76-1. That is lot number 3. We pulled him out of the nursery 2 days ago. We are going to feed a boar pig for Louisville this time, and it was tough to offer this one to the public. Just to be up front with you, he's another one of them 305 main characters. I will be, in the same token, telling you, when they're boxy and moderate from us on the reds, they can last a little longer. When they look like they're bigger, they need to show earlier. This one to me is a prime candidate for August. he's got some extra bells and whistles that we're a big fan of. That would be lot number 3. The other male pig would be an 81 litter. That is lot 52. That's a full sib to the 3rd overall there at Coba. 264 out of that high dollar Leto. I think an interesting pair of them. I think these hogs are built for August. Be interesting to hear Rooster describe them. They're different in the way they come, but I think they got some intangibles that we want to do moving forward in the red breed.
Well, obviously, another pair of red pigs here that are extremely, extremely good. Obviously, just a little bit greener maybe in terms of their appearance and where they're at today. Pulled them right out of the nursery, they said, and if that tells you anything about how they feel about this pig and wanting to offer him to the public, the one there closest to the camera, that's just be a testament to the way they feel about him. One, just in terms of feet and legs, he's got big old feet and heaviness of structure. It still reads very smooth just in terms of his muscularity and his muscle pattern, the way it's laid onto his body there. Still a stout skulled kind of a hog that has some height of shoulder, very proportional made kind of a male hog whenever you study him from the side. Kind of the lighter pigmented or the lighter red one here that's coming around. Really like this pig just in terms of his stoutness of skull and the width between his eyes there. Still a very square shaped kind of a barrow whenever you study him in terms of his muscle pattern. I like that he's got some extra just length of hip and mobility to his rear skeleton. Obviously, neither one of them are the most wolfy today in the entire offering, but I think 2 of them that could certainly reach a very high success regardless of whenever they show.
Well, as we drop the trio of Berkshire males in, I would tell you in the same sentence, my infatuation with this breed goes far and beyond. I love Berkshires. I like having a Berkshire in the barn because they wake up the other breeds when it's time to feed them. They're tough, they're stout, and they're durable. These 2 that they're wheeling around for you, them are 87 litter or boar pigs, if you will. They are out of the above and beyond. Which would, their mother would have had the champion Berkshire Barrett, Coba, champion Berkshire Barrett, Muskogee in her first litter. She herself would have been 4th overall Berkshire at the Oklahoma Youth Expo. I will tell you they're a little bit different. The quality of these 2 Berkshire males are in my wheelhouse. I know you got to get up early to show them, but it's worth it. I like this pair a good deal. This 84 litter hog would be lot number 55. That is an off-the-chain. The Trogdon board that sits there at Premium Blend, their mother would be a Cub Scout. We would have sold a litter mate to her in the coronation that was extremely popular. I want to note on camera, the 84 litter barra, or whatever he is a double crip, but I think a trio of Berks that are beautifully marked, highly with a big ceiling, and I think they're highly capable of getting it done. I like this trio of Berkshires. Good deal. August endpoint, in my opinion, can stretch to the end of August, 1st of September. I wouldn't get carried away and trying to stretch them too far. These things are hardy and they like to eat.
As we get into the last breed here for the Goss consignments, before we work into the crossbreds, the Berkshire program is certainly not something that just happened overnight. It's something they've been building and they've truly put the work into is their Berkshire herd over the years, and they pride themselves on it whenever they've offered these things, and they've continued to win year in and year out, regardless if it's gilts or bears, and even making some boars that are still in stud at various places. I think this trio of Berkshire males in the ring here are just a testament to the type of quality that they've continued to drop out in these Berkshires. All 3 of them, even the one that's not a litter mate there, just in terms of the type and kind that all 3 of them replicate, that type of bone and skull shape, yet they back it up with a square edge and just true punch to the center portion of their body, yet they're not just wolfy, pig-cell looking pigs. They're still immature in terms of their midrib and the way their muscles laid onto them. Extremely good, just in terms of their skeletal organization and their flexibility. Buy them how you like them. I think a very good trio of Berkshire males here in the ring.
Well, Rooster, I should have probably grabbed the mic before that we started into some of these breed hogs, but One thing that I want to go ahead and announce and let everybody know that's been watching online here tonight, I told Blake before the preview started that I had a chance to talk to Clay's Willing earlier, and I know that there's some new plans and some things in the works for the NSR as we look into late summer and fall time here in Oklahoma. And one thing comes to mind that allows an opportunity for some of the pigs that's here in the cell tonight or tomorrow night, and that is the fact that the Southwest Regional has had lots of discussion about who, what, when, where it's going to land, and those kind of things. But I think everything is in play and in place now, and let everybody know that is going to join forces with our Oklahoma State Fair, and will take place during that particular event. We will continue to have our state fair as always, as it always goes and as is, but now in conjunction with that, the Southwest Regional will take place in conjunction and held alongside. So that opens the window and door for people from all states to come, be a part of, and to participate. With that being said, it also allows for all of these breed hogs that shows that will still fit under the same regulations as what that the NSR does, as well as what Team Purebred offers within their shows that happens currently now with the Southwest Regional. So that's an opportunity. When he talked about those hogs, it was January's. That opens the door for them, allows them to be in there. Obviously, we're looking at this set of Berkshires here. I think they fit in that particular window as well. So keep that in mind as you're making your buying decisions and looking at opportunities as we go into the late summer and early fall.
Well, thank you, Todd. I was glad to hear that news, and we needed to get it out so people that are watching online and that are here that can participate in that particular show. A very good opportunity. I'm excited. Should be very, very good. Well, as we get started here, it's time to roll in here to the crossbreds, and I will tell you, as we get started here, I like this set of purebreds a good deal, and if you need something, reach out to us. The traditional belted hog that's going to be dropping in the ring is a 36 litter. That would be lot number 72. His littermate brother found a great home there in Indiana. He is a heavy hitter, rusty cage, roll call. We sold the mate brother there at Bobles. The one closest to the announcer stand and farthest from the camera, that is a 34 litter, 34-4, lot number 28. That is the skinnier brother that we sold. We sold that whole litter 2 weeks ago. The gilted, the chosen ones, the black-headed Barrett, the chosen ones, won at Bobles farm sale. This is a only way out of 1A. We own this pig in partnership with Moyer. The only way back on this particular sow, she would have been third overall at Coba. She won 6 or 7 jackpots. She would be a litter mate to the boar that we sold for $340,000, the premium blend that they call Make It Rain. Tremendous litter that she came out of. This pig was immature and a little lighter in terms of muscle early. That is not the case now. He comes with some extras and he's big chested. I really like this pair. I think this 34 litter hog feeds into August extremely, extremely well.
Well, a real good pair of them hit the ring here as we get started on the crossbred consignments from Goss Livestock. And we'll start off with the 34 litter pig that Blake was just talking there. I think whenever he turns and comes at you, his initial impression is that type of broadness and squareness about his chest floor. He backs it up with some real world just shape and dimension out of the backside of his blade. Yet he's a big pin, square built kind of a hog. Study him at the ground still, and he reads right in terms of his angularity and the structural integrity. Still a good-footed type of pig that reads very good in terms of the angulation of his skeleton. We'll talk about the darker pigmented hog there just a little closer to the camera right now. Maybe not as just wolfy and boxy as some today, but I think whenever you study this pig from the side, that type of just height of shoulder, length of neck, Still a very long, level-hipped kind of a bear. That's the type of image that just continues to grab judges' eyes. The moment that the pigs hit the rings in first 3 steps, takes that type of just look, build, and balance from the side. You take him home and just pour the coals to him, and I think you'll be very, very happy with your project there. Real good pair of them to get us started off here. My compliments to the Goss crew.
The next 2 in would be the start. There's 5 males out of this 37 litter that's in the particular offering. The one that ties on closest to the camera, that is 37-3, lot number 50. The one on the far side would be lot number 49, 37-4. They are money moves. The boar pig that we sold there at Perfect Timing that 66 Ventures bought. These hogs would be out of 10-4. She is one of the most impressive show gilts that we've ever raised. More importantly, she looked like a generator just from the word go, to be up front with everybody. These hogs, I think, could feed to a high degree. I think they feed earlier than some that we're going to talk about. Those that maybe have a July fair, 1st of August fair, I think they fit extremely good. They're different in their maturity patterns, but I think a pair of them that offer some presence and chest. Interesting pair here that are different in their type and kind.
Well, we'll start off here on the lot 50, I believe it is, that Ty's dragging around here. I think one, just in terms of that type of rib and body shape there in the center portion of his skeleton, really got to appreciate that. He looks like an easy feeding kind of a bear that ain't going to take just a heck of a whole lot of just supplements and stuff like that to get him how you want him. He's kind of a real world, real steel type of deal. He's big-footed, heavy bone, extremely broad. Just in terms of his skeletal makeup, it's still very square and athletic about his structure. The one here that Ryder Dale's dragging around with the bottle, I think just in terms of that type of immaturity of look and presence, really got to appreciate it. He's a square-shaped bear, yet a very flexible kind of a hog. Still ties high out of the top side of his blade. Very crisp edge there. A little bit greener today, maybe in comparison to his brother, but certainly don't doubt that he'll have plenty whenever it comes time to rumble. Good pair of them here.
Well, as we roll this next pair in of 37s, I think this pair, you know, they kind of come to us and what we thought that their mother could do. 10-4, she was reserve at Exarban. She was top 5 at Iowa. These will be money moves. Keep going. The one Ryder Dale's on closest to the camera. They kind of fought a bit when we unloaded. His ears a little bit swollen. I'm telling you, at the house, he was good as any of them. That would be lot number 5 tomorrow night here at this particular building. I love that pig and what he represents in terms of his kind. The other bear would be -5. I think he's a beautiful headed bear that's got a neat maturity pattern. He would be lot number 29. These would be money moves. Money moves just sired our third overall heavyweight at the National Western there this time.
Well, a real good pair of money moves bears here, and we'll go ahead and talk about the smaller one here that the Ryder's got right in front of the camera. I think a hog, just in terms of that type of length of hip and step from behind, really got to appreciate it. He's still a bold-bodied, square-shaped kind of a hog. You study him just in terms of his skull and the broadness to it, that tells the story back for that type of just broadness and true punch. It's still a square-made, sound, flexible kind of a boar pig there. Really like him a good deal. The one that Ty's got propped up over here, maybe just a little bit bigger in terms of his kind, and I certainly don't mind that. This one from the side's absolutely deadly, just in terms of that type of skull shape, height of shoulder, and length, just the way that he ties out of the top side of his blade. That's a square-shaped bear that's still got some length and levelness to his hip. I think he's the kind you just take home and let him just start to mature and come to himself in the way that he needs to, and you'll be very, very happy. He looks like he'll feed into a lot of endpoints and be a very, very high-quality kind of a show bear with that type of just look and presence. Real good pair here in the ring.
well as we roll these next two out. Maybe not the most calm pair that we'll have in the ring, but they haven't been on chips very long. These would be a pair of 43 litter barras, or boar pigs, excuse me. They are only weight backdrops. Their mom in her first litter would have had the grand overall bear at the Oklahoma Youth Expo. Second litter would have had Money Moves, the boar that stands there at Evans. And then in this particular litter, she actually had the champion Hampshire Barra at Coba International a couple weeks ago. I will tell you, maybe one of them sows that doesn't have them as obvious little in terms of sale readiness, just in terms of the way they come. They're always stouter and very productive in their body. Man, they slick off and turn into some weird things. Be interesting to see. They got a belted boar pig coming that I'm a big fan of. These hogs got crazy feature, very boxy. They haven't been down long, not the tamest, but I really think that if a guy digs in, I know they're not obvious today. I know that they don't look like front runners, but I really think that this pair will feed a good deal. This sow line would also be a litter mate to roll call. I like this pair of pigs. I know they're different. I know they're tougher to look at, but I would encourage you to get them out in the back and study them.
Well, I think a real good pair of solid black male hogs here in the ring, and maybe not just perfect in terms of their coloration, but I think their quality is absolutely off the charts. The little guy there that's sniffing on the pudding cup, if you're searching maybe for one that can go as long as you need to in terms of a later date into September, maybe even the 1st of October, certainly think this guy could do it. He's big-footed, he's heavy bone, he's got that type of just weird look, if you will, from the side that they talk about. Still extremely bold in terms of his body shape and progressive about his dimension and muscularity. I really like that he's still immature. Looks like the kind when the baby fat peels off, somebody will be very happy with that purchase there. You talk about the bigger black brother here that Ty's got rolling through the middle of the ring. That hog's got a lot of just real world shape and dimension. He's big chested and opened up. It still feeds a good shape out of the backside of his blade there. He's still a big-footed, heavy-bone kind of a pig that maintains extremely flexible and square in terms of his movement. A good pair of them here. I'd study your lesson on this pair of black males.
Well, as we roll into this next particular pen, it's time to get serious on the belted male pigs, and they are 40 litters. They would be heavy hitter roll calls. Their mom was campaigned by the Bunt family. Would have won a class there at the Oklahoma Youth Expo. Would have been a gilt we purchased there from Premium Blend. Her grandma originated there at Trace's. I think a trio that is awfully darn interesting as you work through them. Ties on dash 4, that would be lot 68. Ryder Dell is on the one that skin and hair's not perfect today. He would be lot 22. The dot back hog would be lot 48. I think an interesting trio. She had a gilt that was in top 5 of her division out of my speed this summer at Louisville. I think this trio hogs feed into August extremely good. I think they're interesting, they're unique, they're different. A nice trio here for the 40 litters.
Well, a real good trio of mate brothers here, and we'll start off with lot 68 here that ties on right in front of your camera. I think a pig, just in terms of his maturity pattern and build, looks like a perfect candidate to feed into a state fair there. That type of look and length out front in terms of tying high out of the top side of his blade, having some neck and just extension out front. He's still a bold-bodied, square-muscled kind of a bear that's extremely sound and flexible. Of the trio, I think he's the greenest today, just in terms of his pin width and his true just body shape. But looking at his brothers and his mates across, I don't think there'll be any concern of him having enough. As we talk about the other two here, Ryder's leading the one that's just a little peller, if you will. I think of the initial trio here, he's a big-footed, very heavy-boned one. Really got to appreciate just that rib and center capacity that he's got. Whenever you study him with his head up there, that's still a tall-shouldered, very proportional kind of a bear that prevails a very excellent look of balance. The dot back pig there that Ty's fixing to bring in front of the camera, maybe just the sharpest in terms of his edge and his muscularity today of the three, and I really appreciate that. That's a big pinned hog. He's still studying from the side, and he's a proportional, well-balanced bear that reads with the right type of just length of body, yet still has some levelness out back to his hip and his hind leg. All three of them extremely square and flexible in terms of their build. Buy them how you like them. I think all three of them just a little bit different maybe in terms of their maturity, but can all fit an August show. Very, very good. Real good trio here in the ring.
Well, as we drop these next ones in here, this solid black bear, that's 41-2. That is an only way money's on blurred 40-2. Their grandma would be the mama whitetail that needs no introduction. Their mother would also won about 4 or 5 shows. She got shown by, I think, a 5.5-year-old. He's got a pair of belted brothers that are standouts in my opinion. This belt's one that Ryder's on, that is 44-2. That will be the last pig that we sell in the get-together. We always like to have a little grand finale in terms of quality. His mother would be a $60,000 purchase at the perfect timing from the Trace crew. His mother would be a litter mate to the Reserve Grand Barra at the Oklahoma Youth Expo. Lucky day that stands in California. His mom would have won California State Fair, CYE, multiple shows in between. We think this pair is awfully different. I could see a lighter division in August. I could see absolute hammer there into August, September. I think an interesting pair of them. The belt one's a double crip, no bore option on the 44s on any of them.
Well, I think another pair here. Obviously not the biggest ones in the sale, but I think very, very good. We'll start off on the solid black one there. Got to study him and his pin mates there in the back, and a trio of them that are just very, very good. That's a stout-skulled, big-armed kind of a bear. You got to appreciate the square shape and edge that he feeds up high. He's still proportional and well-balanced from the side when you study him. You get him in motion, and that's still a very angular type of a bear. Reads very flexible just in terms of his skeleton. This double crip hits the ring, and he beats to a different drum here just in terms of that type of look. He's a stout-skulled yet tall-fronted bear that reads extremely just trim in terms of his cheek and his elegance. That's a very square-shaped bear. He's a big-footed, heavy-boned one. Really got to appreciate the type of look that he has. A pair of them, I think, that feed into some later dates there. Regardless of where they go, I certainly think both of these will be standing at a backdrop. Not sure when it'll be, but they certainly will be. Good pair of them here to study up. The solid black male will be a lot 46, and then the 76, and then the belted double crib will be the last lot in the sale, lot 81.
Well, as we roll into this next particular pin, these would be the first 2 of 5 on the 45 litters. These are the 2 smaller ones, I think, that'll stretch. Their bigger brothers need to go to a state fair. These 45s would be Flyby. Flyby is a litter mate to Say It. Their mom is a hero by the name of Biggie that the Hofschulte crew named. I think this pair, to me, start talking about September, October, look pretty fun. You know, they're probably a little small to sell now, but here's the thing: we go to the Super Bowl for us in about 20 days, and we don't want to hold on to them. It's time to sell them. I would say if you got a later show date on this particular pair, very, very good. These 45s, this Flyby thing looks pretty interesting to me, Rooster.
Yeah, as you watch the one there that Ty's going to fly by the camera there in the center of the ring, I think needs absolutely just no introduction what this thing looks like. He's tall-fronted, Got an absolutely just wild look from the side. Obviously, both of them just a little green and immature, and they're smaller and younger in their age to some maybe. But I think a pair of them, like Blake said, can feed out into a long time there. August, September, maybe even stretch into October if you absolutely needed them to or wanted them to. The one that ties on here, though, just in terms of immaturity and angularity to his skeleton, very square-shaped kind of a boar pig. Just in terms of his muscle pattern, really like that he's proportional and well-balanced from the side. Maybe opposite end here of the spectrum, the one that Ryder Dale's on, I think take this one home and just let him relax and come to himself, and you'll be very excited with him. That's a tall-fronted one. He's as stout and broad about his skull as anything that we've seen come in through the ring today. Very bold-ribbed kind of a bear that looks like he'll be an easy feeder. Just let him kind of slow roll regardless of where your end point is. You'll be very happy with that one. Real good pair of them here. Very good.
Well, we'll be the first to tell you we're excited to offer this 45-1 to the public here at the get-together. He will be lot number 2 tomorrow night. That is the bigger brother of them two that we just looked at. That's a flyby hero, which would be how to say its brother. The chromed up pig would be 45-2. That is lot number 78. And I think these two offer that kind of presence and get them in a pen kind of quality, if you will, at a Midwest State Fair. We're pretty fond of this pair. We're darn fond of the litter that they come out of. I think an interesting pair of pigs here as they bring them out in the ring.
We'll start off here on kind of the mid-body belted one that Ty's got closest to your camera. And I think, Blake talks about this one showing at a state fair. It looks like the kind that wouldn't mind jumping a dummy if you would. That type of just look and presence from the sides, absolutely undeniable. He's still a broad-built, stout-skulled hog that's got some extra just shape and punch up high. You study this thing on the move for being that broad and square about his skeleton, and he's still as athletic and just flexible and mobile around the ring as any of them. I think a very, very high-quality individual, regardless of boar or bear option there. That one should certainly fit the bill. Take nothing away from the painted-up, chromed-up brother here that Ryder Dale's messing with. I think a hog, just in terms of his maturity pattern, that type of just look ahead of his blade, he's still a big-chested, broad-built hog. Maybe not as just woofy in terms of his muscle pattern and his pin width as some of his mates, but he looks like the kind that whenever it's time to get it to him, certainly won't be no slouch. Real good pair of them here. My compliments to the Goss crew once again.
Well, as we drop this next pair in, they would be 44 litters, and they would be wide awake, quite frankly, the $60,000 gilt from Perfect Timing. And I'll tell you, this one ties on underneath the camera. I have looked at every hidey-hole place at Goss Livestock trying to find his other testicle. It is just not there. It is in his flank, and it's not going to come out of his flank. I think that in my head, he was put on this world to be a herd boar. God had other plans. I think that is an absolute gangster. One of the most different ones here, that would be lot number 21. His little brother, that's a shot more immature in his muscle, would be 44-3. That would be lot number 30. I think an interesting pair here that are big time in the way they come to you. This sow, I think moving forward is a big time generator for us. We're darn happy with the 44s.
Well, a real good pair of 44 litter hogs here in the ring. Talk about the one that Ryder Dale's got here in the center first. Like Blake said, a little more immature and green than some, but that type of just look and build from the side was still some length to his hip. Sorry about that. Like we said, you know, that type of just look and build from the side certainly never goes unnoticed. You might not be able to see it on the camera there, but you study these things at the surface in terms of just the hair and the fuzziness that they got to them. It's absolutely just dripping off the bottoms of their feet there. I know that's not something that's extremely important, but obviously something in the show ring nowadays that's got to go unnoticed. The one there closest to the camera now, the traditionally belted brother, I think one, like Blake said, very, very high ceiling of what he could get done. You know, one that does look like a herd boar, but I don't think that you're going to be able to get that second one down there to get him to jump. Big armed, extremely stout in terms of his indicators, yet proportional from the side. That's a long and level hip and a very, very square, big rear leg. My compliments to the brothers on these two again. A real good pair of them here.
I like this pair of pigs that are coming in. Old TP is his name, and I hope it sticks with him. That is 45-3. That's another one of those flyby hero deals that we're pretty fond of. The other male pig closest to the camera, that is 37-6. That's a Money Moves 10-4. The 45-liter barrel would be lot number 67. 37-6 would be lot number 80. An interesting pair of pigs that I think fit tremendous there in the middle of August all the way to September. I like this pair. A good deal.
We'll start off on the lot 80 there that ties a dragon closest to the camera right now, the smaller one of the pair. I think another one, not to sound like a broken record, but just that type of look and proportionality from the side, yet still being a hog that's got a round body shape and a big square chest floor. This looks like the kind that's just going to feed and progress and get better and better as he gets to a heavier weight. A real good bear there in the center of the ring now. The white-tailed male hog here that the rider's wheeling around towards your camera right now, just an absolutely just undeniable look and presence from the side. He's still a big-footed, heavy-bone kind of a hog. I really appreciate that type of just square shape and muscularity out of the backside of his blade. He still ties just extremely smooth out of the top side of his blade in terms of his length and levelness out top. He's still a very square, flexible kind of a bear that reads awesome in terms of the angulation to his skeleton. Real good pair of them here in the ring once again.
Well, as we drop this next pair in, I think an interesting pair of hogs to talk about and discuss. And I would say as a whole, probably as much discussion as we've ever had at a get-together, just in terms of being equal from top to bottom in consistency. The hog that ties on would be 42-3, lot number 79. That would be a heavy hitter, roll call, first litter gilt. His grandma would be the mom of Upswing there that stands at Laird's. She's had a tremendous run for us. She won the North Dakota State Fair and so on and so forth. The other one that he's on is 43-2. That is an only way at a roll call sister. She would be the mother of the grand at the Oklahoma Youth Expo. Money Moves in the champion Hampshire Barra at Coba a couple weeks ago. I think an interesting pair of hogs that fit really good there into March and can stretch just a little bit. The more traditional belted one would be lot 69. The wide belt would be lot 79.
We'll start off here on the traditionally belted hog, and I think one, just in terms of his type of look and presence, opened up in terms of his mid-body and his rib shape. I know the boys are extremely high on these only way litters, and these pigs, the earliest ones that they've had so far, look like they're going to be the big ring kind in terms of having the extras and the unique intangibles that everybody likes to talk about in terms of foot and bone and having the right type of head shape. Still a very square, flexible kind of a hog there. The heavy hitter pig here, the wider belted one that's wheeling around there now. These heavy hitters at the Goss Ranch have been very, very good. And this one fits that mold in terms of the type and kind I think it takes. He's a little more immature today, maybe in terms of his mid-body and just the aggressive shape and muscularity is some. But he's a big-footed, heavy-boned hog. It's extremely comfortable in terms of his skeleton and his movement out back. I think one that looks like you just take him home and feed him how you like to, and he's certainly going to show up when it matters on show day. Good pair of them here once again.
As we bring the next two brothers out of that 42 litter in the particular ring, we're going to talk about this 42-1 pig that's in the center. That will be lot one, and he will start the sale tomorrow night here in Weatherford. That is a heavy hitter roll call. Grandma will be the mother of Upswing, the grand at the North Dakota State Fair. This kind of heavy hitter for us has been very, very good. That kind of feature and shag to go with it. Forearm shape and just the kind that he represents. I wish we could mass produce them like that particular barra. This 42-2, his littermate brother, that is lot number 47, is not far behind either. I think an interesting pair of them. We love heavy hitter, there's no question about it. The boar owes us nothing. It's kind of like Christmas morning. It's the gift that keeps on giving. We're going to keep going back to this particular boar for all the right reasons. We're darn thankful for Premium Blend for giving us the opportunity. We like these heavy hitters.
Well, like we said on the previous two lots there, the heavy hitter deal at the Goss Ranch has obviously been as lights out as anything. I think this pig here that Ty's wheeling around right now needs absolutely just no smoke and mirrors blown at him. That's a big-footed, heavy-boned hog that reads with just the extras in terms of just shag and the dense hair, the dark pigment. He's not as just ripe and just bloomy as some of them today, but that type of just maturity pattern and muscularity that's laid onto his skeleton, he looks like he could certainly be a boar, no doubt. But if you're thinking about competing at an August show there, I would say this one definitely needs to be on your short list. Very, very good hog there. I take nothing away from the one right here that Ryder Dale's got following the pudding because that type of just look and presence absolutely just goes unnoticed every time or grabs the judge's attention whenever they come out of the gate there. Ties high out of the top side of his blade. He's extremely sharp about just his edge and his muscularity. You know, he still reads good in terms of the angularity of his skeleton at the surface. Very strong-footed, square-built kind of a hog. It looks like he can feed and progress and be a very, very good heavyweight. Real good pair of these 42 litters here. My compliments to the entire Goss crew.
These next two that come in, they hit pretty close to home in terms of the type and kind that we want to raise moving forward. The one ties on the wide belt when they are a pair of brothers. They're 41s. They would be only way. Money's on blurred 40-2. Their grandma would be the mom of the $190,000 whitetail gilt that lands there at Kimball's. She's won multiple shows across the country. These would be out of first litter gilts. Their litter mate we sold there to Trace and Moyer would have had a $9,500 gilt, and their particular sale the other night would have had a very elite show barrow that sold this wide belted hog would be lot number 4. A year ago, in this particular sale, we sold the Grand Barra at the American Roll as lot number 4. I don't know if we've ever replicated one that wasn't related to a particular pig as closely as we have to this one. If I could go back in time, we would breed about 50 sows of that particular pig that won the Royal. His brother would be 41-3, lot number 46. And I can tell you on behalf of our crew, this is the kind that we want to raise in terms of chest and blade and forerib, hock squareness and foot strength. We are darn proud of the 41s. I could talk a long time about this particular sow line. I will tell you that this is a lot of effort put into these 41s. I like them a good deal.
Well, extremely high quality pair of male hogs here in the ring, and I think this will wrap up the Goss livestock consignments. Ty's got this one right here in front of the camera for you. And, you know, we've seen a lot of them hit the ring today, you know, here through the sale, in a very, very high quality and deep set of pigs. And, you know, this one comes in and maybe just draws everybody to the front of their seat as much as anything today. That type of bone and foot. He's a stout-skulled, opened-up hog. Whether you're searching for a herd boar or a show-winning bear, I think that's a very, very high-quality animal. You don't need to hear me go on and on about him. The thinner-belted one right here that Ryder Dale's on, you know, this type of just look and maturity is my speed. Tall-fronted, yet ties extremely high out of the top side of his blade. You know, maybe not as boxy today as some of them that we've seen in the sale, but that type of just maturity and length and levelness to his hip. He's still a strong-footed bear, but yet still got plenty of flex and slope and angulation off both ends of his skeleton. One that I think looks like to be a very, very good candidate to feed on into them August shows. Real good pair of them here. My compliments to the Goss Livestock crew and a very deep set of consignments here.
Next in will be the K&M consignments. I want to first off thank the entire Goss crew for having us out once again. We always enjoy coming to this sale. We brought you a pair of litter mates, be Trick Daddy, Wild Side, be As Expected Sister. Be her first litter. That gilt had a very successful show career, and me and Willie like these things pretty good.
Well, as Austin and Willie K bring their pigs, this one's painted up like a Palomino pony, and I'm telling you, spur that Shetland until the time comes. He's got the tight neck and the neat presence from the side. He's got great shape out of the back of his blade. Then you study his pedigree and what he represents. That's high-quality livestock, in my opinion. He's a short lister, there's no doubt. He got hung up in traffic. These things just got off the rig, and they look this good. I like this painted up thing. A good deal. This boxy, stout, moderate, heavy boned, hairy thing that's a little more traditional belted, attaches good at the top of his blade. He's a big rib bear. He's a big bladed hog with true arm and feature at the base of his body. You know, we had one that was extremely good that got injured there before LSU out of the get-together from this particular firm. I would tell you, buy with confidence. I would say a couple of the most obvious pigs that they brought to the get-together, a really good pair from K&M. as we wrap up the get-together on behalf of Ty and the rest of our crew, I will tell you, thank you very much for tuning in. I know this is the craziest time of the year for us down in the South, and a lot of the breeders as well, trying to be everywhere. I will tell you, though, in the same sentence, that the amount of quality in this building and the feedability and the different endpoints, I think we got hogs anywhere from July all the way to October. Very simply put, they were put together with a plan with sow lines on the backside of them that were created to make pigs like this. And I will tell you, I end and start every sale at the same sentence of you got to surround yourself with people that are like-minded that you want to be a part of. I will tell you this, in terms of a feature and stoutness perspective, at the get-together, if you're watching online, in person, this is the stoutest featured, most consistent group of pigs that we've offered, all the way from the consigners to the set of pigs that we brought for you. I look forward to talking to everybody. I look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow night. My compliments to the consigners. A really good set of pigs, and as always, we thank you for being a part of it. We thank everybody for tuning in. An extremely high quality, deep set at the get-together. I'm as pumped up as ever.